Everyone just wants to live, laugh, love. But in this disappointing world, there are many who are faced with lies. This is Live, Laugh, Lies.
Carmen.
Yes.
Welcome to Live, Laugh, Lies.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
I'm so happy you're here.
I feel like we talked about this like when you and I first kind of started actually talking.
Yeah.
You told me this hadn't even started yet. And you told me, and I was like, bring me on the show.
We need Carmen on. Honestly, you're one of the most interesting people for a wide array of reasons, including relationships. I mean, we've like talked a lot about our weird relationship past. And like, I think that there's, obviously we talk a lot about relationships on this podcast, but there's so much more to you that we're going to dive into. Yeah. And I want to thank everybody for sending DMs and voicemails. We're going to get to those shortly. But first, I want to know more about you. And let's start off by sharing with everybody a little bit about our friendship. I literally said the other day that when we met in Mexico for the first time, I was like, did you think I was a baby back bitch? Because I was fighting with my boyfriend the whole weekend.
Well, I said that I didn't feel like I got an opportunity to even talk to you.
Yeah.
I also like have my own regrets from that trip that I feel like I got a little bit cliquey, you know, like right off the bat. And so I don't feel like I spent enough time with everybody that I should have.
Same.
But I feel like I literally didn't even see you on that trip.
I know, because I was crying. No, I actually wasn't crying that much, but like I just was like unwell.
That was the first time we met though, right?
Yeah, I think so. That was the first time I met you and Annalise. And I mean, a lot of people, I feel like I didn't know most people there.
So I didn't think that you were a baby back, which is crazy. But I thought you guys were kind of stuck up, if I'm being honest.
Oh, you thought I was stuck up?
Yeah.
Whoa, wait, maybe I am though. Am I
just
now
like
that you know
above,
me?
like, oh, she can't even like come hang out with the girls or the group.
Oh my God, no, I was just unwell.
I remember the ride to the airport and I was totally like overly done being social. So I just like went into my full Scorpio mode of eavesdropping on everyone's conversations, but not participating. And I was like, oh, like the vibes I'm getting from Susie, I like. And then we got out of the van and we started talking about tipping and like you and I were on the same wavelength and instantly I was like, I like Susie.
Mm-hmm. I felt the same way.
Like as soon as we actually talked one-on-one, I was like, oh, I really feel connected to her.
I feel the same way. I didn't have any reservations about you at all. I thought you were amazing, but I felt insecure that whole weekend because I felt like I was in a bad place. And it wasn't because of my boyfriend, let me be clear. It just was like, I was just going through a lot and me and my boyfriend were probably like not in a good place at the time. And yeah, just like, I remember thinking, I was like, I must seem like the worst person ever. We were talking about tipping and how it's just important to like show gratitude to people and why it's such a like important thing to us. And did you work in the service industry ever?
I never worked in the service industry, but my grandfather did. And that was like one of the big things that he instilled, and my dad too. Like, I just remember that from a young age that tipping is important. And then I have so many friends who work in the service industry or have worked, and I worked customer service. I just like tipping is so big to me. And I especially like when you go to places, you know, if you have a driver, if you're in all inclusive, it just is important to me.
Yeah. Well, that's a really green flag for you. I love the fact that like I don't know if my parents did, but like my whole family, like it's been really common. Like we were just like, I don't know. My brother and I always served tables. Like from the time I was 16, I worked in a restaurant, and like every time I ever changed a job or throughout all of college, I pretty much worked full time in a bar/restaurant. And like people can treat you so horribly. And I think that's the trade-off, because you can make really great money from tips, but like you're dealing with the public, you're dealing with people that like think they're above you or like treat you down or whatever. So That's like the trade-off of like being in the service industry. So I remember we had that conversation. I was like, green flag, I love her.
And then I can't remember like if I feel like we just like started talking on Instagram a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we saw each other at a baby shower. And that was like when we actually talked more in depth.
So true.
And then I was like, oh, I want Susie and me to be friends.
Oh, I love that. Well, I'm so glad. We were talking about jewelry, right? I think we were talking about like,
yeah, we started talking about jewelry and just like all the things, like how we both don't like want to spend, like how we want to spend our money versus saving our money.
Yeah.
And that was like all green flags also. I'm like, okay, super relatable, super down to earth. Very rare, hard to find here. So, you know what I mean?
Oh, that makes me happy.
And then now we are real life friends.
Yeah. And I literally love
that.
you. I just feel like I've talked about it on my own social media, and like as these episodes come out in season 2, people will probably hear a little bit like I've just like struggled with my mental health, and like I've tried to be more open about that, but I'm so not somebody that like leans on people during those times. You have known about things happening in my life, whether it's like family back home or relationships or friendships. And you are that person that sends a text, hey, thinking of you today. I hope you're doing well. When I brought Frito to his new home and the next day you're like, hey, just like I'm checking in, making sure you're doing okay. Also remember, he pooped on your floor. Like,
yeah.
You're just a good friend. You're truly a good
you.
human. I think that just stems from like who you are, which is also exuded in like everything that you do online, which is like really a big part of what I want to talk about today too, which is your platform, Eat the Cake Too, which is your handle, right? That's on Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere. Love it. How did you come up with the name? How did you get started on social media? And like, what is it that you represent?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. Like I could cry. First of all, I am a crier. Okay. Everyone knows that one thing I'm going to do is cry. So I'm going to try not to today, but no promises. So I started Eat the Cake Too a long time ago, I think in 2017.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And I had no Instagram or anything, but I was really into fashion. I was working finally non-corporate. And I got really tired of everyone always being like, oh, like you're so confident for your size, or like you dress so good for a big girl. And I'm like, I know you're trying to be nice, but it's actually, one, it's a backhanded compliment. And two, like this should not be that rare. Like all of us should feel confident in ourselves the majority of the time is my hope for everybody. So
that caught me off guard. You just saying that. Like I was like, oh, cute. Like you dress really well. Wait, what?
Yeah, I've definitely always pushed the envelope, like as far as what society would expect from somebody with my body type, wearing what I want, not caring. And so that's kind of where Eat the Cake Too came from, like that concept of having your cake and eating it too, like getting to step outside of these boxes that society wants to put us in, especially when it comes to our bodies and how we should present ourselves to the world, which I think, especially as women, like we all can relate to.
Yeah.
So that's where Eat the Cake Too came from. And I literally booked a photo shoot and that's how it started. And I just really started sharing my own journey with body confidence. I have conditions through my legs and my body, lymphedema and lipedema, that cause a lot of swelling. And so I kind of wanted to find that community also. And I really started sharing my body, and that's where this all was built from. And you and I have talked about this a little bit. Like my journey has been kind of crazy from where I started versus where we are now with my brand. But it's all rooted in me wanting to help people feel more confident in themselves every day, whether it's through fashion, whether it's just through loving your body and doing small habits every day to shift our mindset around how we feel about ourselves in a society that like constantly is telling us that we're not enough and changing beauty standards. So my platform is just based in body acceptance and just going through life understanding that we're always changing.
Yeah.
You know, our mental health impacts how we feel about our bodies and how our bodies change. You know, society, literally when I started my platform in 2017, the standard of beauty was different than it is even now.
Right.
Which isn't that long ago. So it's something that I'm very passionate about. and I will get worked up about if we talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I just think it's important, especially for young women.
Yeah. And I'm curious, did you always have this fire in you for it? Or was it something you had to develop over time? Because I know when I was in high school, and even middle school, I definitely dabbled on the spectrum of like eating disorder, like never was diagnosed or like had that serious of an issue, but like I had a terrible relationship with food. And I think that in itself, I'm like, people can categorize that as an eating disorder, and to be so young and to be like so affected by what I'm consuming and like comparing my body on the outside to what I'm seeing, even at that point online, which social media wasn't really a thing. It's crazy to imagine going through high school now in 2025. But I'm curious, like, did you always have that? Because I still am like figuring it out. I'm much better, but like, it's impressive.
Yeah, it's honestly odd to me that I got to the point that I am, because I think what the difference is that I was always an outlier. Like I never fit in, right? I've always been a bigger person. I've always had the girl with the swollen legs. Like I was born with primary lymphedema, so I always had swelling through my legs and my feet. So I never fit in.
So even when you were a kid, you had lymphedema?
Yes. So I got my diagnosis when I was 4.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was complaining so much to my mom that like my feet hurt all the time, my legs hurt. And so that's how we found out I had lymphedema. And so I think I'll go back to the question, but I always say like, I think it's a blessing for me. I've always existed in this body. Like I've always been big. So I've had 30, plus years to live in this body and become comfortable with her versus people who, were the athlete in high school or thin. And now, you're a parent or you're an older person and your body has changed. I think that's much harder. So I think because I've always been me, I just got to a point where it's like, I'm not going to ever fit in. 1, why do I want to? And 2, like, why not just embrace being different? But I, like you, had disordered eating probably since I can remember. I was in Weight Watchers with my mom in 6th grade, like not even legal, but like she would take me to the meetings with her.
Wow. Like literally in it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Getting weighed every week. Like her and I would do it together. From up until I left for college, I remember being in and out of Weight Watchers with my mom.
Wow.
And having very different eating styles to even my sister, So like thinking back on it now, very damaging. I don't ever blame my parents. They did an amazing job. I have very good memories of my childhood. Yeah. But I will say that, like a lot of us, I never really had a good relationship with food. Or my body, right? Because from my earliest memory, it was me trying to change my body, lose weight. Yeah. Losing weight is the only goal. And so I will say one thing about my mom, like my mom sewed, so...
Are you about to cry?
Don't cry, Susie. It's okay. I'm okay.
This is our friendship.
No, don't cry.
I just think you're such an incredible person, and like hearing you talk about your story, I'm just like so impressed by you.
I have cried a lot. We all have childhood trauma. I think it was really hard, specifically for my dad. Like he really didn't know how to navigate having a kid who was different. That is a episode on its own. Yeah, full tears. But I will say my mom, she always wanted me to feel like not to feel so different. So like even I remember her taking me to Nordstrom and like I'd have to buy sometimes different size shoes because my feet, my right foot is significantly more swollen, and it's really sweet because she would like have them in Nordstrom. Shout out Nordstrom. Like they would literally like sell me the same pair of shoes with different sizes. Isn't that amazing?
Wait, I love that.
And she sewed. So like, I remember like the plus size fashion options when I was growing up were not what they are now. Yeah. Like my mom sewed my prom dress, my winter formal dress.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
I love that.
I think like that's kind of where my love for fashion came to. And like, that's how I got to express myself. Like I was not the girl who was going with her friends to the mall and to Hollister and Abercrombie. Now, thank God they've changed, but I didn't have those options. Like I had Torrid and like the dress barn. Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
And back then Tord was like very goth. So yeah, I just like fashion became a passion for me. My degree is in fashion marketing. I came out here because I wanted to be a buyer. I was convinced. Left when I was 18. I just think I've always been very independent and wanting to do what I want to do. So I left when I was 18 and came here to LA for college. And I just knew I was different. And eventually I'm like, why am I trying so hard? Mm-hmm. And then it got to a point where it's like, why am I the only person who feels like this? Like whatever your body looks like, you should feel confident.
Right.
So,
because you have to live with it. Like that's the bottom line is like, we're in it. This is who we're going through life with. It's literally the person you look back at in the mirror.
And isn't it crazy how women, this is something that is like baffling to me because like I look at you and I'm like, you literally like you have the perfect body, right? Like you are our standard of beauty. I mean, you are beautiful inside and out.
Thank you.
Which
So
makes you like 1,000. But, you know, I can look at you and see that. And then you can look at me and see something else. It's like we just live in this constant world of comparison.
Yeah.
Where we're always wanting something that we don't have. Like I used to have pictures of Khloe Kardashian at my desk at work, backdrop on my phone, like when she was like in her real athletic era. And I'm like, this is how my body has to look. And one of the things when I started this is I stopped doing anything like that. Like
really?
I never will say I want to look like her because your body will never look like anybody else's. Like we can have goals for ourselves, but I'm never going to say I want her body because I can't have that. Like my body will never do it what anybody else's will. So
literally.
if you're struggling with like this comparison game that we all struggle with, one of my tips is always like stop doing that. Like stop having somebody else be your goal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's hard out here because you can literally go to a plastic surgeon and be like,
I want to look like this.
I want these boobs. I want this butt. Mm-hmm. But even then, like, you're never going to have that person's body.
Right.
Like, you get to have your body. And I will say, like, if you don't love your body now, you are always going to have that mindset, whether it's you lose the 50 pounds or you get the boob job or you get, the BBL. Like it's a mental struggle. Like it's a fight that you have with yourself every day. Like if you're not doing the work to fix that, you're never going to be happy with your body.
Right. That's so true. That's actually a good point. Cause I think for a long time I always had like, Miranda Kerr, Adriana Lima, all these Victoria's Secret models. And like, I've literally been close to that thin before. And my body still didn't look like that. Like at my ripe age of 16, when I had like, just like a string bean, like I was just tall and skinny. I had no curves, like no hip to waist ratio. Like I just was like straight up and down and I couldn't figure it out. And like, as you get older, you just realize like body types are just different. It doesn't matter how skinny you get. I was never going to have that body. Yeah. And as I got older, I started to change like my background, and my phone would be somebody that had a more athletic build because I was like, I'm built more like that. And I think to an extent it was healthier, but to this day, the people I can think of her name, Emily Skye, she's amazing and she's very body positive. But I had her on like my phone background for so long because I was like, maybe I can look like that because we have a similar body type. She's not curvy. She's just like kind of more broad, I guess, like has a more, like a more athletic build. I don't know. But even that, like it tormented me for years, had her on my vision board for years because I never looked like her. Yeah. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, but then again, I look at pictures of myself from 10 years ago and I'm like, oh, banging body.
Isn't
Why
that
didn't
crazy?
I enjoy it?
Yeah.
Why wasn't I shaking that thing while I had it?
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I'm grateful. I look at myself now and I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful for what I have because I know in 10, 15, 20 years, I'm going to look back and be like, I wish I had what I had going on then. And so now I just flaunt it and, you know, be inappropriate with it because I figure,
you should.
because I'm like, why not?
As you should. I want everyone to be inappropriate.
I've become a little bit less modest as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I would be like more modest because I was trying to cover up more and I was like self-conscious more. And as my body has probably gotten older and like technically like less hot, I think I'm like becoming more scandalous.
Well, first of all, no way.
Yes.
Are you ever less hot? And also,
the
you're
boobs
like,
are just going down and down further and further.
Oh, trust me.
But
listen, you're barely like, what, 30? You're 31.
31, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, sister, I hate to break it to you, but gravity only becomes more of a bitch.
Worse. But see, that's why I'm like, I know, like right now at this ripe age of 31, I'm finally appreciating what I've got. And so, you know,
I will say like my early 30s, late 20s, early 30s were like my most free body years.
Love that.
Yeah. And it's funny. I feel like you and I are like almost swapping because I was such a little slut in my 20s with my body. Like I literally, my partner at the time was like, wear it. I don't care. Like see-through shirt. He literally was like, do it. I don't care.
love that.
And so now that
you're a modest
you know,
queen.
not in that relationship anymore and getting older and like trying to shift my brand, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm becoming conservative. To me, like this is conservative.
Shirt.
Mind
Yeah.
you. Like,
earlier she asked if she looked like a mom. I was like, I've never seen a mom so hot.
like I have my whole stomach out but I'm like, you know, not enough cleavage. Like I'm conservative now. That's how I feel sometimes. So it's kind of a weird thing. So I want to get, now that we're talking about that, like I want to go out and be a little bit wild, you know?
Yeah. Let's put on crop tops later.
Plan it.
Yeah.
Go be a little wild and like wear this little slutty outfit.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of slutty outfits.
See, I'm just now not just now. I guess I've worn a few slutty outfits, but I feel like I'm just now dabbling in showing off my body more. And I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. Yeah. I just feel like it's been empowering. And not to say that I still think I kind of dress like a grandma for the most part, but like, I do think that like it's been fun. Actually, you've been a big inspiration for me, which we're gonna shoot content later. So you guys stay tuned online because you're gonna pick an outfit out for me.
Yes, I love that.
But you've been a really big inspiration. I feel like sometimes we'll get together and you're like, I love your outfit, and I'll be like, I literally thought of you while picking it out.
Oh, I love that.
And it
that
makes me
happy.
feel good because you have a very like specific like style that's like, just it's sexy but it's classy. And so when I put together outfits like that, I'm like, what would Carmen do? I just have never been a fashion girly, and it's like been fun to get more involved in that. And I think becoming friends with you and Annalise and other people that I've just like inspired by, even online, when I see your content, I'm like, oh, like it's fun. It's fun being a girl.
It is fun. It is fun being a girl for the most part.
For the most part, yeah. I wanted to ask you. Well, I did want to talk a little bit about, because we talked about it off camera, and you just mentioned it. So you were in a relationship several years ago, and that person was really like pivotal for a lot of your brand, I guess, and kind of like what you do now. Can you share a little bit about that relationship?
So I was in a almost 12-year relationship.
Wow.
That ended 2 years ago. Crazy, honestly. Like sometimes I feel like I've lived 12 lives already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've had what some people have as a marriage. But I met him when I was young. I met him when I was 22. And I feel like I started life really late as far as like being in relationships and exploring in that way. And so I was with him from 22 to 34, and he really played like a huge part, and he knows this, in me just feeling okay with my body and exploring. Like we had in a lot of ways, a non-traditional relationship, and I was able to explore a lot of things. And I think while that had its own challenges, also made me feel so empowered in my body and so confident. And it's like that saying, you know, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. I agree with that to a certain extent. I think if you have somebody who loves you so deeply and unconditionally, and especially who out loud loves your body, it's life-changing. It is extremely life-changing. And I want that for everybody, especially women. Like, I think, now I feel like I'm going to get emotional, but I do think that, and this is something I'm very firm on, like, I don't think you should share your body with anybody who does not make you fall deeper in love with it. And he did that for me for a long time. And Susie and I were talking off camera. Ending that relationship was really hard in navigating my relationship with my body after, because it's like that was my anchor, and he validated my body, and I had to relearn how to validate it for myself. And that's been a journey. I mean, I think I'm pretty open, like ending a 12-year relationship 2 years out, like there's still things that I'm healing from and like and trying to figure out on my own again. But that has been a big one, the body part. And I will say, like, as much as he poured into me and validated, there are things that people can say about your body that like you can never unhear. And that's something I'm very careful with my words with anybody, friends, family, because once you say things, you know, you can't take them back. And I think that that's where a lot of our body image issues and hurt comes from, is having people say cruel things about us. And we're online people. A stranger could tell me anything about my body. It literally, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, people have said the worst things about me, and I don't even choose to remember them. But when someone you love says something, like, ooh, gut punch. Yeah. Like totally. Knife to the heart. Yeah. So, unfortunately we ended on kind of a tough note for me. So that's been, I feel like I had to like restart my body love journey all over again.
Wow. It's amazing that you found someone that was able to validate and like pour in. And I think that's like the dream for every woman. Like, at least from my perspective, I feel like my body is like the biggest thing I've had to come to terms with, to accept, which is like so crazy. It's like the biggest, most physical, most obvious part of who I am. And that's like the hardest thing to accept.
It is like, obviously it's the most out loud thing about you, but at the end of the day, it's also the least important thing about you.
So true. But I guess because it feels, that's so true. And when I look at a partner, it's barely a consideration. You know what I mean? Of course you can appreciate a beautiful body. Of course you can appreciate a hot guy or girl or whatever. But when we were just talking about relationships off camera, and it's like, when you're looking for a partner, when you're looking for somebody to like be by your side, it's like that, like not once has that come up in the discussion that we've had about relationships. Like, it's always about character. It's always about how they treat you. And it's
and let me tell you, like, men do not care. Like, the majority of men do not care about your cellulite. They don't care about your stretch marks. Like, they're not even thinking about that. You know, I think, and I've never actually shared like the story of like my ex saying anything, because I don't want women to feel insecure about their bodies at all. And I truly, truly believe that most men, like, your physical appearance, normal things, it's just not a big deal to them. Like, I've never had any complaints. I will say, like, I'm very free and open, like, being with my partner naked, like different positions. I don't care. Like, it's going to move. It's going to jiggle.
As it should.
Yeah. And for the most part, like, people enjoy that, by the way. Like, no one cares what your stomach looks like. Like, if you're on top and you're doing it for more than 30 seconds, first of all, you're winning. Yeah. You know, and second of all, no man is going to be like, oh, like, don't ride me for so long. Your stomach and is jiggling and your boobs are saggy.
No, if he's saying that, literally get out.
Like, come on. No one cares about that.
Literally. I'll take it elsewhere.
I'll take it elsewhere 100%. So I think that that's like such a big one for women. And I've talked to several men about this too, and whose, you know, partners are like, I don't want to take my shirt off, or I don't want to get on top. Like,
yeah,
trust me, that's not what they're thinking about. Like, That's
They're
not
just
what
excited to be there.
they're literally happy to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love it. Okay, so since we talk about lies and you do so much advocacy and, talk about confidence online, what is the biggest lie that social media tells us?
I truly think everything social media tells you is a lie,
That's
which
fair.
is crazy because like my livelihood is in social media, but I like, not to toot my own horn, but I think like I'm very upfront and I've always just been very vulnerable and honest about everything. I think that's very rare. Like I would say there is a handful of people that I could say that about that I've encountered on social media and in real life. So I say you take everything with a grain of salt on social media. Like it's very easy for everybody to show you exactly what they want to show you.
Right.
And I think it's very easy to get caught up in it. Like we've talked about this, especially living where we live and just being part of different industries. It's very easy to get caught up and it's very easy to fake the funk, you know? So I think where people are at life is probably what they lie about the most, whether it's career wise, financially, even confidence wise. I think it's very easy to make it look different. So what I will say is, one, I always say unfollow any account that makes you feel bad about yourself at all. Like if it makes you feel less than, if it makes you feel like you need to change, unfollow. There's so many positive accounts out there that are also very real and authentic. I think if you're only seeing the good parts of people's life, then what is the point of that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just be sold something because you're happy all the time. Like, I want to know, that you're human also. Like, what are we struggling with? Like, how can we make each other better? And I think that comes from sharing experiences and being vulnerable.
I love that. That's hard because I feel like I want to show up authentically online, but sometimes it's a tough balance of like, I don't want to come across as like I'm complaining, or like I don't want to come across as like ungrateful, or like also sometimes I am not ready for like the potential conversation that it might be, which I think is a whole other thing of like, okay, if I'm real with my audience, then like that comes with
That's fair.
them knowing my struggles, which is vulnerable. But I have to say, like, every person I follow that I actually am invested in, like they've been vulnerable and they've actually been authentic.
Yeah, I think it's a hard line to draw, kind of walk is being vulnerable and sharing versus sharing everything. I don't share everything. Like I think I try really hard to share a lot, and people know a lot about my life and they know about my own personal struggles, especially like with mental health and things like that. I don't think people need to know everything. I mean, I remember when I broke up with my ex, because obviously he was with me for so many years of my social media, and people will guess, but I didn't actually like talk about it for 6 months.
Wow.
Until I was really ready, because it is very deeply personal. And I think that people who value you and are really rocking with you, like they're gonna support whatever you choose to share. But just because we have an online presence doesn't mean that we have to share everything about ourselves.
That's true. What advice would you give to someone who's struggling with self-love right now?
Well, one, I would tell you that you're not alone. Like this is the biggest struggle that I think we can all relate to. I always say just start with small things. Small changes every day lead to lifelong habits that are more healthy for you, as far as trying to have a good relationship with your body. I think that this lie of like self-love and body positivity and like we should all love our bodies, like of course we should, and I want that for everybody, but we're not going to wake up every day in love with our bodies. That's just not realistic. I think it's like a journey. People need to remember that I don't think there ever is a destination. It's like every single day you are just actively working to feel good about this home that we literally live in 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I always say start with little things. My number one is the mirror talk, like saying something nice to yourself in the mirror every day, because we have, most of us have a tendency of looking in the mirror and instantly like picking ourselves apart.
Yeah.
So that's something that I started doing probably 8 years ago, is like every time I look in the mirror, which is a lot because I'm actually very conceited, like I try to tell myself something good.
Yeah, I love that.
Even if you're just like doing it with clothes, even if it's something, you know, I love the way my eyes look, or something small. And eventually like you will get to the point where you can stand in the mirror naked and say something that you like about your body. It's something so small, but I swear it has such an impact. And then the other big one is just trying to limit our negative self-talk, whether it's in our head, whether it's to friends. My girlfriends and I were just talking about this a couple weeks ago. Her daughter, my best friend's daughter, is 17 now. And when I really got into this, she was like 9 or something. And I remember telling her, I'm like, we cannot say anything bad about our bodies in front of her. Like we cannot do it, because you know, we all have memories of people in our lives, whether it's our mothers or just saying something, and it's just that trickle effect, and we're continuing that cycle. So,
did you guys maintain that, and you guys don't say bad things?
Yeah, and I will say, and this makes me want to cry. Me thinking about it, like she is literally like one of the most confident 17-year-olds that it's so beautiful to see, like that she feels the way she feels about her body it's because she has women in her life who have built her up to understand how bodies work and how bodies change, and the pressures that we all feel as women, but don't have to, you know, give into. Right. So that was really big. Like, that's amazing. I don't, like, all my friends know, and I'm guilty of it. I'm only human. Like, I will say, oh, I feel this or I feel that, but I just, like, no one can ever talk bad about their bodies in front of me. Like, you probably know that. Like, I will instantly be like, to say some like, shit. Don't say that. Like, no, like, it's just, you know. Yeah. Listen, you'll catch me being like, I feel fluffy. That's everyone laughs because I'm like, I do feel a little fluffy today. You know, I'm in my fluffy season. Yeah. By the way, this is my fluffy season, like coming out of winter, transitioning.
I feel like that's normal for everybody.
It's my fluffy season, but like, you know, it's okay.
It's okay. We love ourselves still.
Yeah. We had our little hibernation for the winter. Now the sun's going to be out. Trust me, I'm still going to be in the bikini and not giving a fuck.
And literally a tan will solve everything.
Oh my gosh.
Everything.
A tan.
That's all you need.
Makes me like a new human. Yeah. Okay. So sorry. Long-winded way of saying like those were my 2 tips that I really challenged. And they're small. They're very doable.
I love that. And if you're listening and you have a young girl around you, take note, because that was like, that made me emotional. Because I think it's a norm to grow up and like just hear women complain about their bodies. Like, I think that's just the norm. Like, that's how I remember, and not, I mean, I think every girl around me, our moms probably were frustrated, and there was a lot less knowledge then, and a lot less body positivity back then too. So I think
my
that was
mom
just the
and
norm.
I talk about it. You know, my mom's 72 and now, but I remember distinctively like learning what cellulite was because of her talking about like cottage cheese thighs. Like, oh wow, I never. Who knows when I would have figured out what cellulite. Like, to me, like, you know, my thighs or butt were kind of lumpy. Like, I didn't think, how would I know there's something wrong with that? Right. Till somebody told me. Yeah. Right. There is nothing. Yeah. But you get what I'm saying. So I think, and her and I talk about that now, and it's honestly one of my favorite things. Like, my mom will go on vacation now and she'll send me a picture and she's in like a 2-piece and she's like, look what I'm doing. Like, you encouraged me to do, like,
I love that.
It melts my heart that, because my mom grew up like so many women, like always feeling the pressure. You know, she was never big, but she was the biggest of her siblings. She was the tall one. She was curvy. Like, all the women in my family have very European shaped bodies. So they are thick. You know, but
that's what I wish I had
back then.
Can I get a little bit of that?
Back then, no one embraced that. Right. Now it's great.
Right.
And so I think it's really, and we've talked about, she's like, I ruined your body. I'm like, no, you taught me what you knew.
Yeah.
And now we get to both heal. And that's really fucking cool to heal with, your mom. And like, we go to Hawaii every year together. That's our trip. And like, she's in her bikini. I'm in my bikini. And
cute. Not us cry. We can't get through this shit without crying.
It's really beautiful.
It really is so beautiful. I just love that. I just love that that's what 2025, like that's our generation. I feel like in general, it's like we do want to heal. Like we want
we want to break the generational cycles, and we deserve that.
Yeah, everyone does. And it's so beautiful that you can help your mom like also.
I know.
We're the worst. We can't get through this without crying. We just love each other so much. I'm so proud of you.
Oh gosh. Oh, we can't talk about my mom. Like,
I know. Moms will get you.
Come on.
I know. Okay.
Let's get into some juicy lies.
Okay.
Come on. Someone make me mad.
Okay, wait. Let's do something fun. Okay. What's the biggest lie someone's told you in a relationship?
Oh gosh. I have them all. I think the top two, nothing like, well, that's not true. Okay, top two. Well, I've been lied to that a man wasn't married and he was married. That's the biggest one that like, because I am very much a girl's girl. That one made me want to, do some damage.
Yep.
I will say, I think the biggest lie that men tell, they always want to talk about women catfishing them. Let me tell you, men, they know their angles too. I think the greatest lie a man tells you is what he's working with.
Down there?
Yes.
Wow, really?
100%.
I don't like they talk about it before you see it, and then
First
you get in there and you're like, "What's this?"
I'm not going on several dates unless I've seen it because I'm not going to waste my time.
Wow, good for
so
you.
I need a photo.
That's what she wants. You need a photo.
I cannot be the only one.
I think that's.
I need
totally.
photo proof, and
I'm so weak.
But the thing is, like, they know how to work these photos.
Wait, have you heard of guys sending a picture to a girl of their stuff, and then the girl downloads it, and the save file is like Facetune?
I'm good for saving a photo.
Tool.
No way.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like a thing. Guys will do that.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, here's the thing. Like, you want to hurt your feelings that bad that you're going to send that and then you're going to come to me?
I'm going to figure it out.
I'm literally going to figure it out. And
that's so funny.
I will say, like, I don't know if if you talk about sex that much on this podcast.
We do now.
Like, as existing in my body, I just want men to know, like, it does come down to math. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, fair.
That's a lot to get through. You know what I mean? Like, you want to hit certain positions and stuff. Like, you need to have the tools.
Period.
So if you want to hurt your feelings, that's you did that.
That's your problem.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going out of my way to make it work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
I love it.
So there you go.
She's
guys,
honest.
Don't come to a big girl unless you have the equipment.
Period. Yeah. I love it. Oh my God. That's amazing. That's one of the best lives we've gotten.
That should be a t-shirt or something.
That should be, put that on a t-shirt. No, literally. Can we get t-shirts made before this drops? Because that's amazing. That's amazing. What's the craziest lie you've ever told in a relationship?
Wait a minute now. I'm a Scorpio, and for years I was very unhealed. So I'm sure I've told some questionable.
That's fine.
I mean, I think I'm just good for leading guys on. That's probably, like, I would lie to make them think that there was a chance, you know?
It was a little cat and mouse.
Yeah, and then I would just
scurry away.
Yeah, block them or something.
That's great.
That's probably it. I think I'm pretty open, though.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is one red flag you ignored that you totally should have seen coming in one of your past relationships?
Oh, Lord. Let me tell you, I'm the queen of ignoring red flags.
Yeah, they turn green in my brain. I'm like, what color is that?
It's like we're at Six Flags and it's just a like fun zone.
Literally.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you guys. literally ignore it.
She loves the red flags.
Like the ones I won't ignore is obviously like if you're married,
Right.
then that's one I can't ever ignore.
Yeah.
If you lie to me, that I won't ignore that. But if this is my toxic trait, if you are upfront with me, like you tell me all the red flags, I'll be like, oh,
That's a green flag.
I love that she told me.
He's honest.
He's honest. He has all this baggage.
He has
literally like U-Haul of baggage, but he told me about it.
But he's
And
honest.
he's honest. I used that for a long time.
I get that. I think I've been there too, because I think that there was a period of time where I was like, as long as you tell the truth, I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with whatever.
Just be honest, because I can't deal with lies. Like everyone has baggage, but
I will
sometimes
say
you gotta work through that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the red flag I couldn't ignore, married, and I couldn't be cheated on. To my knowledge, I've never been cheated on. That would like trust is so big for me.
Yeah.
Obviously. You know what I mean? Like tell me everything and it's fine because now I trust you. But once you break my trust, then
You're done.
I'm done. I can't feel safe with you.
Right.
And that's a big one for me.
No, I think that's everything. Safety.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to set a tough boundary with a friend or a partner to protect your peace?
Yeah. Setting boundaries is not something that I really do great.
We struggle.
Yeah, me too. You're the same person with that. So I will say when I do set my boundaries and hold them, I'm very proud of myself. And I will say recently with a friend who's now not a friend anymore, I did set firm boundaries after like being walked on for a long time. But once I do set it and hold it, there's no coming back. I think that is important for me because the people in my life know, like, if you make me feel taken advantage of or taken for granted, those are the only ways that you really lose me, because I'm a very easygoing person for the most part. Like, we're yes people, we know that. So she definitely like crossed several lines of making me feel that way. And I ended the friendship, and that was really hard for me. That was the first adult friendship that I ever ended.
Wow.
But it was right. It felt right.
Yeah.
Like, I think trusting my gut is something that is easier to do with friendships. Still not easy, but almost impossible for me to do in relationships with men.
It's hard.
So, yeah.
I'm proud of you. That's great.
Thanks.
Okay, shall we listen to a voicemail? Okay, I'm going to play the first one.
This one time in high school, I had a relatively popular Twitter account, and I pretended to be Bill Nye the Science Guy and tweeted at several celebrities. And Glozell, who you may remember was a big YouTube star at the time for her cinnamon challenge, she followed and retweeted a picture of the two of them meeting at a grocery store, and I didn't have the heart to tell her.
Oh, that's funny.
Wait, so she just pretended to be Bill Nye on Twitter?
So I guess she met the real Bill Nye?
This girl did?
No.
Glozella?
Yeah.
Glozell?
That's what I took her with.
I'm kind of confused. Wait, I'm like, what happened? Is she pretending to be Bill Nye?
She was pretending to be him on Twitter, and then I guess the girl actually met him in real life. And
then like added her?
Like took a picture. Yeah.
Wait, that's actually amazing. Have you ever catfished somebody online like to get tea?
No.
I didn't.
I'm the worst.
I did in middle school. I created a fake account from a girl from like the high school down the road. She was like really hot. And me and my girlfriends, we like downloaded her pictures, created an account, and then messaged our friend to see if he liked anybody.
Really? That's literally so cute.
No, it's like like now I look back, I'm like, oh my God, like we were toxic.
I think we have like a big enough age gap where I didn't even have a cell phone until I started driving. Why are you laughing? It's not that. Susie, first of all, like not Susie calling me an old bitch. It's not that funny. The way you're laughing right now. I didn't say it. First of all, I didn't even have text messaging until I went to college. And even that, it was limited 200 texts a month.
That much changed.
Well, obviously, we're different enough. Have you
guess
ever been
times
limited
changed.
to 200 texts a month?
I did. That was like 7th grade.
Oh, that's cute. I was literally 18.
An adult.
I was an adult.
I'm dead. I guess technology changed quickly.
I was making like burnt CDs on LimeWire. Okay.
Oh, me too.
No, in college.
Oh, I was like in elementary.
I hate this. Interview over.
I'm sick. I'm sorry I laughed so hard. I didn't mean to. I really don't feel like we're that much of age difference apart.
Oh my gosh. Okay, really fast. I was on TikTok this morning. I know Rolling Loud just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a lady. She's like she was like listening to the music, had no idea who was playing. She was like, imagine being at Rolling Loud, born in 1990 something. And I was like, 1990 something? Like, I have a 1980 something.
No,
so now I officially
literally.
feel extra old today.
Well, I guess people go into Rolling Loud and music festivals are in the 2000s.
Yeah.
That's insane.
No, I know. Like, to be 25 already, born in 2000. Weird.
Crazy.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, let's see what other voicemails we have, if any.
Okay, this might be hard for me to get within the 90 seconds because this is an 18-year-long lie that I told. But back when I was around 11, it was like 6th grade, I think, our art teacher would pass around suckers at the end of class. And by the time the basket got around to my table, there was only 2 suckers left. The girl next to me took the grape one, which left a cherry one left for me. Well, I hated cherry flavoring, probably because of cough syrup or whatnot. Anyways, I was very upset and wanted the grape one, so I lied and said that I had a cherry allergy. Cherry flavoring allergy, to be specific, because I did enjoy a kitty cocktail every once in a while back in the day. So fast forward through college, I would take cherry bombs and my friends would be like, aren't you allergic to cherry flavoring? And I was like, yeah, I am. I can have this specific one because it doesn't have like red dye 64. Like, I think I made up a red dye actually to specifically get out of eating certain cherry things. And so this started when I was 11 and I came clean at 29 to my mom, who thought I had a cherry allergy, all of my closest friends who thought I had a cherry allergy, and finally told them I actually don't. I just really wanted that grape sucker.
That's
And
commitment.
I kept up the lie really well, I think.
That's commitment.
That's commitment.
That is crazy, actually.
You seemed angry. You seemed pissed.
That I'm not gonna lie to you, okay?
Give it to us.
I wasn't fully invested in this story until the end because that is commitment.
Like, she committed to a bit for so long. And she was taking
All
cherry
over
bomb
like a sucker.
over a sucker. She was like
That's actually
having
hilarious.
to disclaim to her friends that she was allowed to drink this, cherry bomb in college.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a very good lesson, though, you guys, and why you shouldn't lie, because one lie turns into several lies.
And they last for 29
And look
years.
at how committed she had to be to that. Like,
I just imagine people that, like, I really thought we were going to get juicier. Like, I thought
I
people...
know. Was that it?
That was it. I thought we were going to have people, like, telling us crazy lies.
I had someone hit me up on Instagram and say that she dated somebody with a guy, and he pulled out, he had a fake penis.
Wait, what?
And I was like,
Can
go
you read
leave
it?
Go
Do you have
leave
the
a
story?
voice message.
Oh my gosh. Wait, read the story.
It was like very
Wait,
brief, though.
This is better.
It was really brief. And so I was like, can you go leave a voice message?
Where was the fake penis story? Well, that in itself. So basically, well, let's see if you can find it, I guess. And if not, we'll discuss.
Fuck, I think it was a voice memo and I didn't keep it.
Oh my gosh. That would have been great.
Dang, yeah.
Okay, so
I know.
basically, a man
That's
had
a
a
big
dildo
one.
on?
I don't know, like, what the situation was.
I wish we could call her.
Dang. I know.
Wait, that's crazy. Okay, well, there's a nice little juicy one to end it for you guys,
Oh,
because
man.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Was it a man?
She said it was a man, so I don't know if he like
He doubled up?
or like maybe he had like some injury or something, or that would be, maybe he had like a
Unclear.
micro penis and couldn't.
That could be it too.
Man,
there's a whole, we need her to call in. So we're gonna open up the line. If you are listening,
I feel like
give
you
us
need
a
to do a
call.
whole episode like on sex one day and bring me back.
Let's bring her back.
We didn't talk about enough sex for me.
I know.
Sorry,
I love
Susan.
it. No, I love it. You bring the energy. So we'll do a lies about sex episode.
Yeah.
We should do that. Well, Carmen, thank you for joining me. Where can people find you, and what do you have coming out that people can support, or what do you have in the pipeline? What are your dreams? What are the visions?
Oh my gosh.
Tell us everything.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been very exciting and eye-opening. No, I'm just kidding. You can find me everywhere at Eat the Cake 2, TOO. And I have some new series that I'm going to have in the works, especially with fashion. And we're heading into the warmer weather. So if you need some inspo to feel good in these beautiful bodies and get them in the sun, please find me. Please message me. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for the summertime and to be in some cute swimsuits and see what happens.
I love it. And I love how engaged your community is. I feel like your page is just such a place of positivity, and I love when you like story tell and you talk us through things happening in your life. So if you just need a good follow, Eat the Cake too. She's amazing.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation.